These are by far the craziest Minecraft bases I've ever seen. If you think your base is impressive, wait until you find out what's coming. My Discord server is live. Join before it's too late. Number 1. Mother of Trees. Built in 2014, this massive tree is over 200 blocks tall, and at the time it was the biggest tree ever made. It required 213,000 leaves and 175,000 logs. If this tree wasn't impressive enough, there's an entire elf town too. Ignoia Fryden is an enormous build from the popular design studio Varuna. I swear, it was so hard to pick one build from them as they have so many. This is what happens when your job is being a Minecraft builder. Believe it or not, this masterpiece only took 12 days to make. I couldn't do this even if I had a year. Number 3. Trixie Blocks looked at his first ever build and remodeled it with all the skill and experience he's garnered over the years. It takes time to become a great architect, so don't get discouraged if your house looks like this. I once had a server where I made a giant cathedral. Obviously it wasn't as impressive as his, but it was by far my best base. However, I didn't make a backup of the server, and these are the remaining screenshots I have. Exploring someone's survivor world is always fascinating, especially when it's 7 years old. This is what Jersey Boy was able to accomplish. A massive castle, a path leading into a custom forest biome, a town with Japanese samurai style, a medieval city, and so much more. Just look at his iron farm. Most iron farms are ugly, like the one on my server, but this guy somehow made it look good. Number 5. The most famous builder, Grian, constructed an upside-down mansion in Hermitcraft Season 7. Building this the normal way would have been impressive enough, but for him to build it upside down, I mean, at this point he's just flexing on us. Oh yeah, and he also did it in the Nether, with ghasts flying around, piglins and hoglins spawning everywhere. This man is just on a different level.
And building upside down? Never again.
Far away, over the endless seas, lies the Clockwork Isle. Centuries ago, this island was a bastion of hope, a trading haven nestled between pirate fleets and the cruel sea. That's the lore. However, the builder grew bored during its construction. Despite being technically only 80% complete, it is absolutely breathtaking. A watermill, several windmills, and a waterfall. Imagine how 100% would look. Number 7. There's a big difference between creative and survival. In the latter, you don't have unlimited blocks, you can't use mods, and you have to worry about surviving. That goes double for hardcore. 5,000 days! That's what Looney was able to reach so far. His hardcore world is one of a kind, with several colossal builds, the latest of which is the Nether Hub. As the name suggests, the reason why he made this massive fortress on top of the nether roof was because he wanted to connect all of his portals. That's the type of problem you have after playing for over 1700 hours. Located on the oldest Anarchy server, Mee Megabase is a combined effort of 36 players. The builders used a duplication glitch because this undertaking required millions of blocks, and so they duped 200 million items just to be safe. First, they marked out a gigantic circle, then used flying TNT machines to remove all the blocks in that area and covered everything in grass. The centerpiece mountain took 2 months to make, then a custom swamp biome, countless smaller houses, and an enormous temple of the melon goddess. This base is one of the greatest, not just on 2b2t, but in all of Minecraft. Number 9. Vesco is a maestro when it comes to massive builds, and this behemoth is no exception. He began by building the circle together with the Sky Islands, which alone would be an impressive structure, but not for him. The craziest part was just getting started. I'm of course talking about the iconic pillars. Made from prismarine and sea lanterns, the 4 pillars surround the center. However, for Vesco, 4 pillars wasn't enough. He wanted 8. Although there would be a major issue. The other 4 pillars would have to be built diagonally, which is significantly harder to visualize and execute. The next story is unlike anything I've ever heard. Started in Pocket Edition, playing on an iPod. Dallas wanted a world that could be played forever. Few years passed and the game started lagging. That forced him to buy a gaming laptop and move over to Windows Edition. I guess he wasn't ready for Java yet. One cool thing that caught my eye is that with time, he makes the house look older, adding cobwebs to rooms he doesn't use, growing vines on the outside, and repairing creeper holes with different blocks. The attention to detail is absolutely incredible, but if you think this base is absurd, wait until you see what's later in the video. Number 11. Imagine exploring your world and suddenly you find this. The biggest, most epic fantasy-styled desert temple ever made in Minecraft. What surprised me the most is that it only took him a week. Firstly, he formed a crater and placed the new temple at the end of it. Underneath was an oasis with waterfalls and trees. After that, it was time to detail the fortress, add floating islands, and of course, make a massive throne, over 15 times larger than the standard desert temple. This build is truly unique. With just 2,000 subscribers, RWMC is absolutely unstoppable. You're looking at the result of 2100 hours. I want to have the patience this guy has. It required more than 1 million blocks to create this monstrosity, but the craziest part is that he keeps expanding it, adding a solar system, an emerald city, a gold city, a redstone city, and a few houses from diamond blocks to top it all off. Number 13. The first planet built in hardcore Minecraft, in the end dimension. You have to be extra careful to not die. You also have to worry about the void and about not looking at the Enderman. Sounds like a great time. Honestly, I don't know how these hardcore players do it. I'm such a reckless player, I wouldn't make it to day 200. Sandiction added a plains biome, ice biome, a desert biome, mesa biome. You get the point. The planet is so well made that you forget what's up and down. John Bams has done something that most can only dream of. He has survived over 11,000 days in hardcore. He streams on Twitch doing all kinds of stupid stuff, like building possibly the least efficient wheat farm, dumping 131,000 blocks of sand. But don't get it twisted, this guy is an OG player and he was quite popular 10 years ago. But now he's back, stronger than ever, and his world is the proof of that. He says he's not a builder.
I'm not much of a builder.
But his base looks like this. If he isn't a builder, then I don't know what I am. Building above an ocean monument is literally what everyone does now. I wonder how long this trend will last. Number 15. Grand Mountain Fort, made by Build Therapy, another small YouTuber that deserves more recognition. Needless to say, this map is absolutely stunning, especially given that it took 12 hours in total, including waterfalls, custom terrain, grand hall, library, map room, and an industrial mine. Creating these rough outlines helps him better visualize the structure. His channel has multiple tutorials, and to be honest, I really like them. Another banger from Trixie Blocks. This build is from a creative challenge where he makes basic, intermediate and expert underwater houses. This is basic, this is intermediate, but we're here for the expert one. To enter the actual base, you have to go through the mouth. He even used player heads to replicate the suction cups that tentacles have. The insides of the monster look like a ship, because that's what sea monsters do. They eat boats for breakfast. Number 17. Mr. Hardcore himself. His creation, Atlantis, was inspired by Atlantis, the mythical city. He dug out the obsidian pillars by hand, then bombed out the ant island, built a glass wall around it, and covered everything in water. Endermen hate water. Well, that didn't stop Filza from putting his XP farm in the middle of it. But hey, it's the guy who made hardcore popular. He can do whatever he wants. Now, this thing was in fact inspired by someone that was featured earlier.
I saw this post by a user called Vesco. It was a picture of this incredible base, and I really loved the idea of it.
That's why they look similar. However, Mambo didn't just copy him. No, he changed and added a lot of things. The pillars are shorter, it's not above the ocean, the centerpiece is way bigger, and there's a beating golden heart. He had to include redstone somewhere. Number 19. Some players built a little room to decorate their end portal. Jeracraft took this to a whole new level with his wizard tower, connected by huge chains, surrounded by cracks in the ground, filled with green poison and spanning all the way up to the height limit. This is a book from Mojang. On the cover, you can see a building, and Zetro decided that he wants it in his hardcore world. He also claims to have the biggest potato farm, but it was only 66,000 potatoes, while my farm needed 100,000. You're falling a bit short, brother. Anyway, the final build looks basically the same as the base from the book, so he did a wonderful job. Number 21. This pyramid is by a guy named Dadusak. Oh yeah, that's me. 60 plus hours of work, over 100,000 sandstone, the biggest project I've ever done. You need to watch this video.